I'm excited already because I just discovered something pretty cool with these. Well, I didn't discover it actually. I just realized how this artist made a certain sound just by dropping a frequency shifter on a sub bass. Check it out. So Chris Lake and Chris Lorenzo, both Chris's, they made a song called The Calling. So as I was messing around with Serum, I came across something really cool. I accidentally recreated a certain sound. So it's very close. It's not gonna be 100% identical because I still haven't done any processing or distortion or any of that. So, but it gave me the idea of how it's done. So I'm gonna play this song real quick, and you guys tell me what you guys think. Pretty serious stuff. So now what I have here is the frequency shifter. So let me give you guys a quick explanation of what it is, just like the usual. So now the frequency shifter moves the frequencies of an incoming audio up or down by the user specified amount in hertz. Pretty interesting. So you can bring the pitch up and down, or the rotation of it up and down, like speed it up or speed it down. Small amounts of the shift can result in subtle tremolo or phasing effects. That's pretty much what we just heard on the track, the Chris Lorenzo track and Chris Lake's. While the larger shifts can create dissonant or metallic sounds. So now the chords and fine knobs set the amount of shift that will be applied to the input. For example, if the input of a sine wave is at 440 hertz and the frequency is set to 100, the output will be a sine wave at 540. So check it out. So we're going to start with the shift real quick. So take in mind that the shift only shifts the pitch up. It doesn't add LFO or any form of movement, but let's check it out. Pretty gnarly stuff. So now, by changing the mode from shift to ring, the frequency shifter switches from classical frequency shifting to ring modulation. So let's check that out real quick. So that's the movement I was talking to you guys about, the LFOing movement. Take in mind that you gotta have headphones if you want to hear this. So either way, both ways with the shift and the ring, you can achieve this sound right here. I'm pretty sure you can get it exactly the same if you throw some distortion and multiband processing, compression, and what's not. So now in ring mode, the selected frequency amount is added to and subtracted from the input. For example, if the incoming audio signal A is a sine wave at 440 hertz and the frequency is set to 100 right there, the output will contain partials at 340 and 540 hertz. For example, if the incoming audio A is a sine wave at 440 hertz and the frequency is set to 100 hertz, which is B, the output will contain partials at 340 hertz, A minus B, and 540 hertz, A plus B. So now the drive button enables a distortion effect, while the slider below it controls the level of the distortion. The drive is only available in ring mode only, so if you have it on the shift, it will fade away. So now enabling the white buttons creates a stereo effect by inverting the polarity of the spread value for the right channel. This means that increasing the spread value will shift the frequency down in the right channel while shifting it up on the left. So now frequency shifters contain two LFOs to modulate the frequency for the left and right channels. The LFOs have 6 possible waveform shapes: the sine, the square, the triangle, the sawtooth up, sawtooth down, and random. The LFO speed as we know, can be controlled with the rate control, which can be set in terms of hertz. Also, the rate can be synchronized to the song tempo and set in meter subdivisions. Example, quarter of a note, eighth of a note, 16th of a note, etc. So the phase control lets the sound stereo movement by setting the LFOs to run at the same frequency, but offsetting their waveforms relative to each other. Set this to 180 and the LFO will be perfectly out of phase, 100 degrees apart. So left and right speakers will be 100 degrees apart from each other. The spin, which can be found in here by enabling the second box. The spin detunes the two LFO speeds relative to each other. Each stereo channel is modulated at a different frequency as determined by the spin amount. When using the random waveform, the phase and spin controls are not relevant and do not affect the sound. So now the dry and wet controls pretty much just adjust the balance between the process and dry signal. Also, when you switch the mode to ring and enable the dry and wet names changes to mix.
If you're an aspiring music producer looking for that breakthrough moment to evolve your sound, check out our online mentorship network at Pyramind.com.